Okay. This is your first appearance hearing before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County. My name is Brad Gardner, and I'm a judge in this court. I'm not here to conduct a trial of your case or to take a plea in your case. I'm here to inform you of the charges that have been filed against you, to advise you of certain rights, to set bail on those offenses that I'm authorized to set bail, to schedule a preliminary hearing, and to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney. You have the right to remain silent and say nothing, but should you give up this right, anything you say during this proceeding may be used against you if your case goes to trial. So please don't discuss the facts of your case. During this and all other proceedings, you have the following rights: the right to the presumption of innocence, the right to indictment by a grand jury for most felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors, the right to a speedy and public trial by jury, the right to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you, the right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your behalf, the right to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense, the right to have an attorney represent you. If you cannot afford an attorney, one can be appointed to represent you if you qualify. Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds for release from jail. These bonds may be by cash, commercial, or property. If you post a cash bond, someone will deliver the full amount of the bond and fees in cash to the sheriff's office. The sheriff's office will hold the cash and return it at the end of your case. If you use a commercial bonding company, someone will have to pay a fee to the company for their service. The fee will not be returned. I don't know what fee will be charged, but it's usually based on a percentage of the bond. Finally, if you use property to post a bond, the property will need to have a net equity at least 3 times the total amount of the bond. Some of you will have special conditions on your bond that prohibit you from contacting certain people or going to certain places. This special condition will be provided to you on a separate form. You will also be prohibited from contacting the victim while you are in jail. If you violate the court's order, your bond will be revoked and you could remain in jail until your trial. You could also receive additional felony charges. It is important to note that if someone is listed as a victim in your case, that person will not be allowed to post your bond. Some of you are charged with offenses for which this court is not authorized by law to set bail. In this event, a bond hearing will be scheduled before a judge of the Superior Court of Clayton County, and you will be informed of that date. If you are currently on active probation, this court is not authorized to set bond at this time. Where the bond is appropriate in your case will be reconsidered after your probation officer has had an opportunity to consider this new arrest. The purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine whether there is sufficient evidence to support the allegations against you. The standard at this stage is very low. A judge determining whether a charge goes forward at this stage only has to determine that it is possible that the crime occurred. Everyone has the ability to waive their right to a preliminary hearing. However, you should speak to a lawyer first if you are unsure about whether it is appropriate to waive your preliminary hearing. If you post bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived. You will receive notice at the address you give of your next court date. Finally, I need everyone to raise their right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that any statements you make during this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God? Okay, let's begin with the ladies.
Michelle Campbell.
Ms. Campbell, you've been charged with 1 count of family violence battery and 1 count of criminal trespass, damage to property. You're going to have a total bond set at $8,000, and there's going to be a stay away provision on your bond to stay away from a Demontavious Robinson. Do you believe you can post this bond, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand the stay away provision?
Absolutely.
Okay, you're gonna have a preliminary hearing date that's gonna be set for May 4th at 8:30 in the morning. That will be over Zoom hearing like we're having here today. That date will get waived upon your bonding out. Then you'll get a new date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, please.
Okay, you do qualify, Ms. Campbell. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, ma'am?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Jasmine Jordan.
I'm sorry, what was that name, ma'am?
Jasmine Jordan.
Okay. Ms. Jordan, you've been charged with 1 count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce and 1 count of possession of firearm by a convicted felon. You're gonna have a total bond set at $6,500. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're gonna have a preliminary hearing date that's gonna be set for May 3rd at 8:30 in the morning, and that date will get waived upon your bonding out. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you do qualify for the appointment of a lawyer. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me, ma'am?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back. Tell me your name, ma'am.
Patricia Kirkland.
Okay, Ms. Kirkland, you've been charged with 1 count of family violence. I'm sorry. You've been charged with 1 count of family violence battery. Your bond is going to be set at $5,000. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Travis Kirkland. Do you believe you can post this bond, ma'am?
Yes, sir, but he has a stay away vision from to stay away from me.
I'm sorry, can you explain?
He's got locked up in December for pushing me down the steps, and y'all gave him a stay away from me policy.
So how were the two of you in contact with each other?
He came to my house, and that's why I called the police to tell them that, but they didn't get there in time enough, and he started destroying my house, and I went to the Monroe police precinct, and they said they couldn't help me, and the police came to my house, and he told them that I scratched him up and beat him up.
So you're saying to me, Ms. Kirkland, that he had a stay away provision to stay away from you. He came to your house.
Yes, him and his sister. While I was at the Monroe police precinct, to tell them to come and help me to escort him off my property. If you look back in December, he was just in y'all jailhouse in December, for pushing me down the steps.
So, ma'am, let me ask you this. Was as far as you know, was he brought to Clayton County
Yes,
in December?
yes. He told the police a lie and said I jumped on him. And the house that we live in is my 5-year-old house. She was awarded that house by the state because she's disabled. And I never been locked up.
Okay, what I'm gonna do, ma'am, because I'm gonna have to look into this, and I'm not gonna be able to get this resolved today. I'm gonna reduce the bond amount to $2,000.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to look into this because if there's a stay away provision, you should not have been charged. But this is a warrant that Officer Stevens.
Yeah, he gave it because I was at the police precinct, Monroe Police Precinct, when he showed up at the house. I don't want to call the police for him for y'all to come and get him because I know he had to stay away from me.
And you did not invite him over to your house?
No, no, sir, no whatsoever.
Okay, I'm gonna set your bond at $2,000, ma'am. I'm gonna keep this stay away provision on as it relates to Travis Kirkland. And I'm going to look into this.
Yes, please do.
Okay, do you have any, well, you're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 4th, and that date is gonna get waived upon your bonding out.
Okay.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of lawyer?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, you do qualify, Ms. Kirkland. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you.
Yeah.
And like I said before, I'm going to look into this.
Okay.
And see what is going on. But that's probably gonna take me a couple days to figure this out, okay?
Okay, because he's at home with my disabled daughter, and I need somebody to go get my disabled daughter.
Okay. Any other questions for me, ma'am?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Okay.
Tell me your name, ma'am.
Destiny McFarland.
I'm sorry, say that last name one more time.
McFarland.
Okay, ma'am, you've been charged with 1 count of obstructing an officer. Your bond is gonna be set at $2,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date that's gonna be set for May 4th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date is gonna get waived upon your bonding out. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, ma'am, you do qualify for the appointment of a lawyer. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Tell me your name, ma'am.
Helena Pearson, sir.
Okay. Okay, ma'am, you've been charged with 1 count of theft by shoplifting. It's going to be a misdemeanor charge. You're gonna have a bond that's set at $2,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
I'm gonna tell you, Your Honor, I normally get a property bond, but my parents do want to come out here and bond me out, but they can't find their deeds. They're up in age, 70-something years old. But they said they would come do a cash bond, but I think it was a little bit more money than they could afford. So if there's a way you might could drop that a little bit, I'm sure they will come on up here and get me.
This is set by schedule, which means that there is a group of judges that sat down and decided that this is the appropriate bond for this offense. So it's hard for me to change that. But you can use a bonding company.
Okay, they usually do property bond, like I said, but they've lost their deeds, so they're looking right now, they're trying to find them.
Okay.
But they said that if they couldn't find the deeds, they would come up here and do a cash bond. But they didn't have enough money last night. They were trying to come up here last night, but they didn't have enough money last night on them. So they were waiting to go to the bank and trying to work it out.
Okay. Ms. Pearson, you're gonna have a preliminary hearing date that's gonna be set for May 4th, but the date is gonna get waived upon your bonding out.
Yes,
and
sir.
you'll get a new date in the mail.
I do want to waive my preliminary hearing. I just want to go on and plead guilty to discharge or whatever, get it over with. This happened back last year, is that correct?
Let me see. Yes, June 24th of 2020 is when the warrant was was obtained.
I went to the Pike County Sheriff's Office to do a criminal background report and didn't know I had an outstanding warrant. That's
okay.
So it was something I didn't know about.
So I do believe, I could be wrong, but I do believe that the solicitor's office, like every week, they're doing plea hearings for people who want to plead guilty. I don't actually have like I don't have like a line into that. That's sort of something that is just what I've heard. So I can't tell you exactly what to do as it relates to that.
Yes,
but if this is something that you want to get this
over with, yes, sir.
Right, I'm pretty certain that you can do that.
Thank you, sir.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
That would be fine, yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, Ms. Pearson. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you.
Thank you.
Do you have any other questions for me, ma'am?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have your name, ma'am?
Deanna Wilson.
Ms. Wilson, you've been charged with one count of obstructing an officer. Bond's going to be set at $2,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Yes.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for May 4th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date is going to get waived upon your bonding out. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, ma'am?
What is obstruction?
Misdemeanor obstruction is basically not following through with the commands of an officer while they're engaged in the lawful discharge of their duties. In your particular case, they're saying that you obstructed them by saying that there was a person that they were looking for in the house, and you said the person was not in the house. So that's what they are alleging. I mean, they could have charged you with hindering the apprehension of someone, but they charged you with the obstruction, which is a misdemeanor.
What's the percentage of that 2,000?
So you're probably going to be looking at $250, $300 through a bonding company.
Okay.
But I you know, I don't work for them. That's just my guess. You're gonna have to contact them, and they'll tell you exactly.
Okay.
Any other questions, ma'am?
No, that's all.
Okay, you're free to go back. Tell me your name, ma'am.
Sprinkle Temple.
Ms. Temple, you've been charged with 1 count of battery. I set the bond at $3,000, but I put a stay away provision on the bond, stay away from Antonio Harris. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand the stay away provision?
Yes, sir. I got a question.
Yes, ma'am.
It's my 17-year-old son. I've been to the precinct on several occasions. He's very disrespectful. Can you give me some pointers on what I need to do to get him out of my house?
Okay, so the unfortunate thing is at 17, I believe you still have an obligation to provide care, but you may consider going to juvenile court because there are procedures as it relates to an unruly child, and juvenile court will basically take over. So it's and I say take over, and that's sort of a loose term, but the juvenile court through the Department of Children and Family Services, they have programs that can assist you as it relates to that child.
Okay.
Okay. And as it's hard as a parent, I'm a parent of 3. It's hard as a parent when your children get to be teenagers and up in age, and you still have to act as a parent, but some children don't act as children.
Right.
So that's where the juvenile court and Department of Children and Family Services, they're the avenue for you, because you can't, there are certain things you can do, there's certain things you can't do.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. That's
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. You do qualify. You're going to have that preliminary hearing date of May 4th, but that date is going to get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. I would encourage you to take the affirmative steps of contacting juvenile court, because they will be the ones that will assist you, and you won't be in this situation again.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're welcome. Any other questions, ma'am?
No, sir.
All right, you're free to go back.
All right.
Miss Williams.
Yes, Christina Williams.
Okay, ma'am, you've been charged with 1 count of simple battery, 1 count of cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. These are both misdemeanor offenses. You're gonna have a total bond set at $4,500. You believe you can post that bond?
What was the cruelty to children about?
Basically, it's saying that the altercation between yourself and Mr. Lopez, that the child was allowed to see it.
Well, we were in different rooms, so I don't understand that part. And the evidence that the pictures taken, I know Mr. Lopez had to take pictures because I heard the officers ask him to, and I was in the kitchen and the baby was in the living room.
So at this stage, these are mere allegations that the state has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. So just because they said something happened at this stage, it doesn't mean that you're like guilty of it. They have to prove it.
And also, it's a misdemeanor because I threw drink on him, because I also heard the officer say something about the cup, as if I threw the cup of drink on him, which I think words or terms was misunderstood. I did splash drink in his face, but I did not throw a actual cup of drink. So I think that was a mistake as well.
Either form would fit under the statute as it relates to that. Whether you hit them with the cup or whether you threw the drink on them, they're still both crimes. And so it's just, I would just say in the future, it's best not to get yourself in that situation, and to just walk away. But they are technically both crimes.
Okay, understood.
Okay, you're gonna have a preliminary hearing date that's gonna be set for May 4th, at 8:30 in the morning. That date is gonna get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, please.
Okay, you do qualify, Ms. Williams. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any other questions of me, ma'am?
No, I do not.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. With Miss Isler, we're gonna do her, you want me to continue her to tomorrow, or what do you guys want to do with her?
I think she might have to be rescheduled because they said that dorm, all of them is positive for COVID, I think.
Okay, and she has her offense is driving without a license, so she has a bond that's already been preset. So technically, if somebody posted her bond, it would, not be your concern anymore. She could just bond out.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'll do a continuance for her just in case for tomorrow. I'll be on tomorrow, so I'll be here to deal with her. Thank you, Deputy Wilkins. You have a good day.
You too, Your Honor.
All right, I'm ready for the men.
Yes, Your Honor. First, you have Mr. Allen.
Okay. Mr. Allen, it looks like you and 3 other individuals were arrested at the same time. And you are charged with possession of marijuana less than an ounce. I've set your bond at $1,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for May 4th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Allen. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. And I would like to add for you and the other individuals that's in the car, you're a young person. Looks like you've done well in your life. Don't let this kind of become a habit, because you don't want to be in jail. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're free to go back, Mr. Allen.
You can go back, just don't let that door slam, right?
All right.
Just tell me your name.
Tell me your name, sir.
Daniel Bennett.
Mr. Bennett, you've been charged with 1 count of criminal damage to property in the 2nd degree. It's written up as a misdemeanor. You're gonna have a bond set at $3,000. You believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 4th, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Bennett. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back, Mr. Bennett.
Sure,
What was the last name, sir?
Everett, Every.
Okay, give me 1 second, Mr. Everett. And I'm sorry, I said Everett. Is it Every?
Every, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. Mr. Every, you've been charged with 1 count of speeding more than 16 miles over the speed limit. Bond is going to be set at $500 for that. Reckless driving, the bond is going to be set at $2,000 for that. Obstruction of an officer, bond is going to be set at $2,000, and fleeing from the officer, bond is going to be set at $2,000. So you're going to have a total bond of $6,500. You believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for, give me 1 second, set for May 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll receive a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You do qualify, Mr. Every. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
No, sir, I appreciate you.
Okay, you're free to go back. Your name, sir?
Maurice Edwards?
Okay. Mr. Edwards, sorry. Getting my paperwork mixed up. Okay, Mr. Edwards, you've been charged with 1 count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. The allegation is that you're bringing in THC oils through the airport. I'm going to set the bond at $10,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for May 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you make just a little bit more. You live in California?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I am going to appoint a lawyer to represent you, Mr. Edwards. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
No, sir.
All right, you're free to go back, Mr. Edwards.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very funny.
Mr. Fleming, you're charged with 1 count of family violence battery and 1 count of criminal trespass, damage to property. I'm going to set your total bond at $8,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
I think so, yes.
Okay. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for May 4th, but that date is going to get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
You do qualify, Mr. Fleming. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
Sir.
Okay, you're free to go back, Mr. Fleming.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You go.
Have your name, sir?
Daniel Gardner.
Mr. Garduno, you're charged with driving a vehicle with a expired tag, driving a vehicle on a suspended license, and theft by receiving stolen property. You're gonna have a total bond set at $4,000. You believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date that's gonna be set for May 3rd at 8:30 in the morning, but that date is gonna get waived upon your bonding out, and then you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Tell me your name.
Shaquille Gillespie.
Mr. Gillespie, you've been charged with one count of, they have it written as carrying a long gun, but it believes, hold on, let me. Yeah, that basically of carrying a weapon at the airport, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. You're gonna have a total bond set at $8,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, Mr. Gillespie?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're gonna have a preliminary hearing date that's gonna be set for May 3rd. Both of these offenses are felonies.
They said the second one was a misdemeanor. The
Carrying a weapon at the unauthorized location.
yes, sir.
Okay. But the possession of firearm by a convicted felon is a felony, but you are correct as it relates to the other offense. You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 3rd, and that date is gonna get waived upon your bonding out, and you get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No, sir.
You're gonna hire your own lawyer or represent yourself?
I think I have a family lawyer.
Okay. Okay. And they just required me to ask that question, so I have to make a notation about it. So that's why I asked the follow-up question. Is there anything else, Mr. Gillespie?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Hardy.
The query is hard.
Mr. Hardy, you're charged with one count of theft by taking and one count of family violence battery. You're gonna have a total bond that's gonna be set at $7,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, Mr. Hardy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Second. You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 4th. At 8:30 in the morning. That date is going to get waived upon your bonding out. I've also put a stay away provision on your bond to stay away from an Amelia Parisi. Do you understand the stay away provision, sir?
Yes, sir.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, looks like you do qualify, Mr. Hardy. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Hey, hello, Your Honor.
How are you doing? Tell me your name, sir.
Jason DeAndre Howard, and the lady told me to inform the person, the judge I was talking to, that she said they might drop the case or whatever. And when I mentioned that I've been diagnosed with bipolar schizophrenic, so it's hard for me to control my feelings, stuff like that. Sometimes.
Okay. Mr. Howard, were you on medication at the time of this offense?
I was getting my medicine today. I was scheduled to get my medicine today, but this occurred, so that's the reason why I'm not getting it right now.
Okay, there's
My doctor did.
just so that you know moving forward, Mr. Howard, there's like a line of case law that people that have been told that they need to take medication, if they don't take the medication, that can be used to kind of
Yeah, I did. That's what I'm saying. I didn't take the medication because I was scheduled to get it, and I've been out of it for like a whole month. That's why I was trying to get it so bad. That's why my mom didn't schedule it for me. I scheduled it for myself because I know I needed it. Like if it was up to her, I would have never just even had no medicine. But no, I wanted medicine myself, so that's why I scheduled.
okay. So
For a month.
I know the solicitor's office, the people that'll be prosecuting your case, they are sensitive to people that have issues, so that probably will work out in your favor. Currently, I just have to look at the charges, and I'm not here to say you're guilty or innocent. So I've set a bond for your case, and the bond's set at $3,000.
Yeah, I have income, not saying, but you know, my mom is my payee, which she can pay that no problem. But you know, I'm not in control of my own money, so.
Okay, like she's like your guardian.
Yeah, she's my payee, so I don't know how I won't be able to call her, because you know, they're saying, oh, since you trespass, you're not supposed to call the person you trespass, but she's still my payee, and she received fines for me, you know.
I did not put a stay away provision on your bond, so you can still have contact with your mother.
Okay, thank you, because she's my payee.
Right. So just make sure that you know, take your medication and you're compliant with your medication, okay?
Yes, I'll try my best.
Okay. So your bond is going to be set at $3,000. You're going to have a preliminary hearing that's going to be set for May 4th, but that date is going to get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to appoint you a lawyer?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to appoint a lawyer to assist you. Make sure you tell your lawyer everything you just told me, okay? Do you have any other questions for me, Mr. Howard?
No, sir. I think I told you everything I wanted to.
Okay, you're free to go back, sir. What's your name, sir?
Ishmael Jabby.
Say that last name again.
Jabby, Jabby.
Okay. Okay. You're the other person that was in the car with Mr. Alexander. And you also don't have a criminal history. So I've set your bond, total bond is going to be set at $7,500 for the 5 offenses that you've been charged with. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for May 3rd, because you've been charged with felony offenses. That date is going to get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I'll say you the same thing I told Mr. Allen. You know, you're a young person. You know, don't let this become a habit, okay? All right, free to go back, sir. Tell your name, sir.
Fernando Juarez.
Okay, Mr. Juarez, you're charged with 1 count of violation of Georgia Georgia Controlled Substance Act, possession of a controlled substance. I'm going to set your bond at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is a felony offense, so you're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for May 3rd at 8:30 in the morning, and that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You do qualify, sir, so I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Talk foreign language.
Mr. Langley, you're charged with 1 count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce and 1 count of use or possession of drug-related objects. Your total bond is going to be set at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 4th. That date is going to get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of lawyer, Mr. Langley?
Yes, sir.
You do qualify, Mr. Langley. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back, Mr. Langley.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Aaron Morgan.
Okay, Mr. Morgan, give me 1 second. Mr. Morgan, you've been charged with 1 count of aggravated battery. I'm going to set the bond in this case at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there's going to be a stay away provision on this bond, Mr. Morgan, to stay away from Christopher Davis. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about that?
No, sir.
Okay. Aggravated battery is a felony offense, so you're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. That date is going to get waived upon your bonding out, and you get a new court date in the mail. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Hmm? Okay, it looks like you do qualify, Mr. Morgan. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back, Mr. Morgan. Have your name, sir?
Jamal Mosley.
So, Mr. Mosley, you're charged with terroristic threats, cruelty to children in the 3rd degree, family violence, battery, and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. You're going to have a bond set at $5,000 on the terroristic threats, $3,000 on the cruelty to children in the 3rd degree, $5,000 on the family violence battery, and $15,000 on the aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. So you're going to have a total bond set at $28,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. That date is going to get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Are you currently working, Mr. Mosley?
See, if I like my job, I'm gonna went to work last night.
So that's yes.
No.
So I'm trying to qualify you for a lawyer. So are you working or you're not working?
Not working.
Okay. So you do qualify for the appointment of a lawyer. Mr. Mosley, give me 1 second. There's going to be a stay away provision on your bond to stay away from a Startasha Weaver. Do you understand that, Mr. Mosley?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about that?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Get up out there.
Antoine Palmer.
Give me 1 second, Mr. Palmer.
Where's my B? The B.
Mr. Palmer, you've been charged with 1 count of family violence battery. Bond is going to be set at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
There's going to be a stay away provision on your bond to stay away from Tiffany Palmer. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about that?
No, sir.
Okay. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for May 4th at 8:30 in the morning. But that date is going to get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Hey, you do qualify, Mr. Palmer. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back. Have your name, sir?
Nada.
Okay, sir, let's see. You've been charged with 1 count of obstructing an officer. Bond is going to be set at $2,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for May 4th at 8:30 in the morning. That date is going to get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify. Sir, I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
Anthony Paxton.
Mr. Paxton, you've been charged with 1 count of possession of weapon during commission of crime, 1 count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce, 1 count of use or possession of drug-related objects, and 1 count of possession with the intent to distribute. I am setting your bond at $6,000. You believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for May 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Paxton, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Tell me your name.
Antonio Richardson.
Mr. Richardson, you've been charged with 1 count of driving a vehicle without a license. The bond is set automatically at $1,000 for that. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes.
Okay, you're gonna have a preliminary hearing date that's gonna be set for May 4th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, you do qualify, Mr. Richardson. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me, sir? Okay, you're free to go back. Tell your name, sir.
AJ Roberts Abram.
Mr. Roberts Abram, you've been charged with 1 count of family violence battery and 1 count of robbery. I'm going to set a total bond in your case of $15,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes.
There's going to be preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for May 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail.
Okay.
There's going to be a stay away provision on your bond to stay away from a Christia Montague, Montague.
Montague?
Yes, sir. Do you understand that stay away provision?
Yes, but I have a question on that.
Yes, sir.
We have a child together, so how does that work?
Well, so we put stay away provisions on these bonds when there's a connection with people, because we don't know at this stage the circumstances.
Right, it was just a misunderstanding, and that's what she also had tried to tell the officer as well. It was a misunderstanding. But like I said, we have a child together, and my child, he's only 9 months. So I just don't want to miss out on my child's life.
So what can happen is that she can contact it'll be the district attorney's office. She can contact the district attorney's office and say that she's a victim named in this case and that she's not afraid of you, and they can lift that condition. So it can happen tomorrow. It's not something that is set for life, but it's something that we do at this stage because we don't want whatever brought you before me to flare back up when you bond back out. And so this evening, the police are called back out to your residence. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions about that?
No, so you said it was, how much was it again?
Total bond is $15,000.
All right, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. You're free to go back. Have your name, sir?
Douglas Worley.
Okay. Mr. Worley, you're charged with 1 count of possession of a controlled substance and 1 count of use or possession of drug-related objects. You're going to have a total bond set at $6,500. You believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for May 3rd, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Please, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Worley. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me, sir?
No,
Okay, you're free to go back.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Come on, sir. Your Honor, this is gonna be McWater.
Okay.
No, first line.
I know it's your last name, we just call you Mister.
Last name.
Huh?
Oh, last
Okay,
name.
just step from the camera, sir. Right here.
Mr. McWhorter, good afternoon, sir.
No, you just say sir, be all right.
I'm sorry.
No, you just say sir, be all right. That was the first name. I don't go by my name, that's part of the name. You're the right person, though.
I'm actually prevented from calling you by your first name. I have to show you the appropriate respect that you deserve.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm going to refer you as Mr. McWhorter.
Yeah.
And sir, you've been charged with 1 count of battery. I'm gonna set your bond at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Okay.
I am also gonna put a stay away provision on your bond, Mr. McWhorter, for you to, give me 1 second.
So when I'll be leaving?
Okay, say that again, sir.
I'll be leaving.
You live with your sister?
It's not my sister.
She's not your sister?
I can't know.
Okay.
Yes, I took care of her. I can't hear. But I can't hear.
Okay. Mr. McWhorter, is it okay for you if I appoint a lawyer to represent you?
Yeah, the judge wrote it. I'll talk to the judge and the judge.
You did what?
I'll talk to the judge about that, all that.
You will talk to the judge about all of this?
Yeah.
You do not want a lawyer.
I'm a lawyer and judge myself.
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time understanding you.
I'm a lawyer and judge myself.
Okay, you're going to judge yourself. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm a lawyer and judge myself.
Deputies, can you tell me what he's saying?
It sounds like he said he's a lawyer, he's gonna judge himself, right? That's what he
I'm a
said.
lawyer and a judge myself.
He's a lawyer and a judge himself.
Okay, would you like for me to appoint a lawyer to assist you?
Well, I already took care.
It's already taken care of.
Yeah.
Okay. There's going to be a stay away provision on your bond, Mr. McWhorter, to stay away from Lily or Lila McWhorter.
No problem.
If you go back around her, you can have more charges added, and you could get placed in jail and not let out until your case is over.
I'm going around her.
You're not going to go around her.
No, just go around her.
Okay. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for May 4th. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you understand that?
Yeah, this is all recounts and everything recounts already.
Okay.
She's free better in the house.
Okay.
In the house.
Okay. Mr. McWhorter, do you have any questions of me, sir?
No, sir.
Okay. You're free to go back.
Okay.
Tell me your name, sir.
John Davis.
Okay. Mr. Davis, you are here as what we called a fugitive from justice. And what that basically means is that there's a warrant for your arrest in another jurisdiction. You're not being held here for anything that you have alleged you have done in Clayton County. And in your situation, the district attorney in Clark County, which is Las Vegas, has a warrant for your arrest for fraud, and they've indicated that they will extradite. So you have a right to, we call it a habeas hearing or extradition hearing, where if you believe that you're not Chrisan Frank Davis, you're not the person named in the warrant, or that the charges that they're asking, that they're saying are pending, are not valid charges, you have a right to say, I demand a hearing. And within 30 days, you will have that hearing here. But the judge here is not to determine whether you're guilty or innocent on those charges. The only thing the judge is going to determine is whether you are the person that is named in the warrant, or and whether those charges are valid. And those are basically the things that they'll figure out. And if those things are true, then they'll sign the warrant, or the governor's warrant. They'll sign the paperwork, and then Las Vegas will be notified that they're to come and pick you up. The time period for them having to come and pick you up can be up to 60 days. There's a 30-day period that starts immediately, and then they can request another 30-day period. So if you were to sign a waiver today, that clock would start running today. If you say, I want to have the hearing, you'll have the hearing. And if those two conditions are met that I stated earlier, the judge will sign the paperwork, and then that 30-day period begins to run when the judge signs the paperwork. Do you have a lawyer representing you out in Nevada?
I will.
Okay. Have you thought about whether you want to waive your right to a hearing or whether you want to have the hearing?
I'll waive it.
Okay. So what's going to happen is the deputies there, they'll give you the waiver forms, and you'll sign those waiver forms, and then they'll send them over to me, and then I'll sign it and send it back today, and then the clock will start to run today. Do you have any questions of me, Mr. Davis? Okay, you're free to go back. Once you sign the paperwork, sir, you'll be free to go back.
Let's see. Your Honor, he keeps one of the copy, doesn't he?
I'm sorry.
He keeps one of the waiver of extradition. He keeps a copy, doesn't he?
I believe so. I normally get 7 copies. Sometimes I get 1 copy, but I normally get 7. But it's probably a good idea for him just to keep one so that he'll have it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there anybody else?
That is it, Your Honor.
Well, when you're done with that, I got 2 people to ask you about.
Yes, Your Honor. You go ahead, Your Honor.
So Mr. Watson is in the hospital.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll do an order for him. I'm doing an order for Ms. Eisler. Let's see. I have a, okay, Mark Miller, is he out?
Mark Miller?
Possession of marijuana, looks like less than an ounce.
Yes, he's out, Your Honor.
Okay. Michael Hurt, is he out?
Yes, he just got out right before court.
Okay. And Timothy Jefferson.
He's also in the hospital.
Oh, you did. Yes, you did right there. Let's see. De Jesus Lopez.
He's out. He's not active.
Okay.
Let me get 1 copy.
And Tamari Robinson. Looks like these are driving charges, so I'm guessing he's out.
Yes, I don't have no Robinson on my court list.
Okay. Nope, he's not on mine either. And it looks like these are all of the. I have a bond order, but all of them. Oh, you know what? There was an email. I think he was as an add-on at the end.
You said Robertson?
Robinson, Robinson. But all of these offenses are precinct bonds, so I'm guessing he bonded out. I have an email that from Shakayla Ewing from yesterday, and it says that he was on the first appearance list for 316, but the judge never received the WAA, so the new court date was set for today. And she's sending a folder downstairs to be added to tomorrow's, which will be today's FA list. But I'm just going to assume that he posted bond because all of these are preset. And if he's not on your list, That is gonna be my assumption, so I'm gonna write out to bond on this for Mr. or Ms. Mr. Robinson.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I think that resolves my list. Last person is Pedro Dimas, Dimas.
He's out. He's not active either, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, thank you. You have a good day.
You too, Your Honor.